Hello and welcome, Sandy Lee here, bringing you the Bush Flower Essence series. And here I have Tall Mulla Mulla. And I know that this Tall Mulla Mulla is very tall and also quite spectacular in its presentation in nature. So what I'll do is I'll read first about what Ian White, the creator or the developer of the Bushflower Essences, has to say, and then I shall give you some insight of my own and an overview. So I'm reading from the Bushflower Healing book written by Ian White. It's huge, there's so much in here. It's one of my favourite books. It's just packed with wisdom, information. So as with all of the essences in this book, Ian starts off with a verse that comes from various sources. This one is his own. So I shall read that and then we shall expand from there. So to avoid criticism or conflict, do nothing, say nothing, and therefore be nothing. So Tall Mulla Mulla is for those of us who go to great length to avoid conflict, even to isolate oneself to avoid that conflict rather than having to have any disturbance in the atmosphere or in their environment. They will do something, they will do or say or be any way that is needed to be able to avoid conflict, and then often will back away and keep their distance from those that cause conflict in their life, which can be, for very sensitive people, just about anybody, because people come with complexities, and the Tall Mulla Mulla profile, that's too much for the sensitivity of the Tall Mulla Mulla profile. But I shall read what Ian has to say. So the negative condition, as he calls these, is ill at ease, sometimes fearful of circulating and mixing with others, a loner, distressed by and avoids confrontation. And the positive outcome is feeling relaxed and secure with other people and encourages social interaction and room for discussion. So when in avoiding conflict and trying to appease, it's people pleasing, trying to appease everybody, it comes to the point that we really can't please everybody because everybody has different expectations. And all we end up doing is becoming dissatisfied within ourselves and causing inner conflict in our striving to try and not have any outer conflict. We can cause inner conflict and withdraw emotionally, physically, socially. But what that does is that prevents us from having relationships of the emotional kind, and that is where great wisdom through those experiences come. Our soul and our heart, spirit learns from interaction with others. And so isolating ourselves, while it seems like a remedy, it's not a long-term solution for avoiding conflict. Rather, we put boundaries in place to be able to hold our own and know our own personal views and not need to have conflict with anybody about those. That live and let live type of approach helps to reduce any possible conflict with anybody, or having to feel like we're feeling one thing but saying another just to appease somebody else so that they don't get offended. Whereas the thing with our views and opinions and beliefs, they're all very personal to us. And while we might have some form of agreement on certain things, and like-mindedness, and those that and an agreement and opinions that are based on similar perspectives, we're never really fully the same in the way we view things. And therefore conflict is bound to come about. But rather than conflict, rather it could be more of an opportunity to be able to understand different perspectives to our own, and to be able to perhaps reassess and reflect on our own and see, where did this come from? Or is it really something that I truly believe in now? Is this an old belief, or is this an old opinion? And so we don't have to come into conflict, and we don't have to people please, because in the end, the ones that end up not pleased is ourselves, and withdrawing and isolating and robbing ourselves of beautiful connections that the human heart desires. And so, with that being said, Tall Mulla Mulla also is a beautiful remedy for releasing blockages, those that stand in the way of our spiritual path and our growth. They can often come from way back, and we keep coming up against these blockages that we don't feel like we can get any further, and that can be related to any form, emotionally, mentally, physically. Because as we know, when we have blockages and they're not resolved and we don't process them, then they manifest in the physical. That's a tap on the shoulder, if you like, saying, I need your attention. Something's going on here. And so it manifests in the physical, because the physical elements energetically derived too. And so that helps to untangle that energy so that we can get greater insight into what that is, what it relates to, so that we can heal. Let's see what else we have to talk about here. Yes, so this Ian puts a rather large piece. There's lots of information on every remedy. And this one he puts in here by Eric Powell, and I won't read the whole thing, but I'll read this here. So the essence works on the casual and physical bodies. It works on the casual body by enhancing it to be able to overcome disharmony, and it removes blockages from the physical body. So it's also cleansing to the blood. So the blood carries our emotions. So that circulates through our whole body. And if we've got emotions that are causing blockages, then that's going to pull up in the blood too and coagulate, if you like. Not in a literal sense in this instance with coagulation as we know it, but forming a knot within us that then manifests physically. And where it manifests is the key to where we're holding emotion, and that can relate to the chakras too. So the nearby chakras that the emotions are being interrupted or out of balance in gives us clues as to where to focus our healing. But it always comes about that where there's one imbalance, the whole is affected. And that doesn't mean that everything's wrong and out of balance. It just means that we can't have imbalances in one place and expect ourselves to be functioning fully in other areas. So we bring it all nicely and beautifully in harmony, and then we have balance, and then we can see things from that balanced perspective, and we're able to find approaches and understandings and capacity to be able to heal where we need to heal. And so that is the beautiful Tall Mulla Mulla. And I'd like to thank you very much for being present here in this moment in time. May you walk in grace and ease. Much love. Thank you.